wire. Yes. And I would like to
This is a class, right? All that Oh, got it. Okay. You have a complete bracelet in here, plus the beads, plus the. Okay, so you want to take this class from this bracelet and put it on shingles that I'll ask her if you have just. She's got all the like little
Believe it or not, he said, they put it on, they
Yeah, I only saw that one, and I don't understand that's what So I think what it's supposed to be is that after you get done, you line up on that line. Our team was the first ones on the line. We ended up winning, and we really would have really wanted to do
They have a few good spots. They have one that's like up to the yeah, that's the line that comes it's got a whole
they lose to the that I watched? Because it seemed like their club
What do you think your advantage? I wonder if
I think it's cool that they have
they all, yeah.
yeah, because it's really good, like,
That you could also keep them from the other team. Not like the
Boy, flickering the lights is really effective, isn't it? So I did not prepare a welcome, but I will welcome you to this year's Invention Fair, and we'll get things started with the kindergartners.
Hello, everybody. Tessa and I will tell you about the compass. The compass was first invented in China a long time ago. Someone found a rock called magnetite. These rocks, when hung up, pointed at the same direction, north. People used compasses in the 11th century to find where north was. Travelers, especially sailors, use compasses to help them navigate with star charts. Compasses are an amazing invention. Thank you and have a good night. My name is Adler, and I'm in 1st grade. A steam locomotive is an engine that provides power for a train. It works by burning coal to heat up water, turning it into steam. steam builds up pressure and moves pistons which move the wheels. Richard Trevithick built the first full-scale steam locomotive in 1804. It made black smoke and would burn passengers. It was heavy and kept breaking the tracks. People could travel faster than a horse and carries cargo long distances. Video games. My name is Josiah Jankowski and I am in first grade. Video games are played on TV. It was made with lots of wires and metal. It was difficult to make shapes on the TV on the screen. Ralph Baer is considered the father of video games.
Whoa. Good.
It was making the first one in 1966. It was named a brown box because it looked like a brown box. It doesn't really help people, it is used to entertain. Thank you for listening to my presentation and have a good night.
Hello everyone, my name is Simeon Toledo, and I am in second grade, and I'll be talking about the printing press. The printing press was a very helpful invention. Metal level stamps with ink pressed onto paper. Woodblock printing press began in China in the 9th century. There was a movable metal type used in Korea. The Hanukkah invoice press was invented around 1436. It helped people make many books quicker for less money. many people could read. Libraries could be made easier and people could learn more. Thank you everyone and have a good night. Hi, my name is Samuel Baker, and I'm in 2nd grade. Could you imagine the world without a phone? The first phone used water and acid to carry sound. Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson started working on the phone in 1871. They created a receiver to turn electricity into sound through a wire. The first phone call was made on March 10, 1876. They tried many times, and the first successful call said, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." One of the challenges was that there was a legal battle of the patent. The invention of the telephone helped because you could talk to people far away easier and quicker. Thank you and have a good night.
Hello, my name is Fiona Wells, and I am in 3rd grade, and I will be talking to you guys about the popsicle. What is a refreshing snack on a hot, sticky summer day? A popsicle. The popsicle came about one winter night in 1905. Surprisingly, the popsicle was an accident. One day, Frank Epperson was 11 and drinking a flavored soda and accidentally left it outside overnight. The next day, Frank got curious and tried the frozen soda by licking it. At first, Frank called this treat the Epsicle. Back then, they made popsicles with soda, but now they make popsicles in factories with sugar, juice, and artificial flavors. After Frank invented the popsicle, the creamsicle, fudgesicle, and dreamsicle were invented. Frank Epperson lived in California during the Great Depression. Frank was born in 1894 and died in 1983 when he was 89 years old. Although this invention was an accident, it was a good one. Thank you and have a good night.
Hi, my name is Sherman Conway, and this year we're going to be talking about Philip Taylor Farnsworth, aka the person who made the TV. In 1921, not long before his 15th birthday, Philip Taylor Farnsworth demonstrated the first working version of television, a farm boy. His inspiration for scanning an image as a series of lines came from the back and forth motion used to plow a field. Farnsworth made his first successful electronic television transmission on September 7, 1927, and filed a patent for his system that same year. Farnsworth continued to perfect his system and gave the first demonstration to press in September of 1928. A interference suit was brought by the Radio Corporation of America in 1934. Farnsworth received royalties from RCA, but he never became wealthy. The video camera tube came from the work of Farnsworth. He died in 1971 at the age of 63. Thank you for listening and have a fantastic night.
My name is Isaiah Snyder, and I am in 4th grade. I will be talking about the elevator. Elisha Otis is the inventor of the elevator. He started inventing when he was a kid. He was known as a tinkerer and hung around a blacksmith. He loved to improve things. He also made wagons and carriages. Although he did not take many classes, Elisha Otis became a master mechanic in 1851. He also invented a railroad car, truck, brakes, and a bake oven. The elevator was needed to carry things and people to higher levels. In Roman times, 1st century BC, they used lifting boards using pulleys. In 1853, Elisha Otis created safety devices that made it safe for humans to build. Not long after, the hydraulic lift was created, which used a steam pump. The elevator got its patent in 1861. Since then, the electric motor, push button, and power control doors were introduced to improve the elevator. The elevator changed the world because it allowed us to make taller buildings. Without the elevator to reach higher levels, the cities would be very dull. Thank you and have a good night.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Baker and I am in 4th grade. Tonight I will be talking about the steamboat. The steamboat went through many changes. James Watt actually invented the steamboat. Robert Fulton only improved it. The steamboat worked by a steam engine. It also had paddles on the side powered by the steam. Robert Fulton had a prototype that broke in half in 1803. It was a 150-foot long steamboat. It also had a cylinder condensing steam engine that had a 24-inch bore and 4-foot stroke. It had a 15-foot diameter side paddle wheels. The 150-mile trip from New York City to Albany was the trial run. It was named Clement. The steamboat helped by making transportation faster. It replaced horse ferries, which were used to cross rivers. The steamboat stopped being used in 1920. Robert Fulton became an inventor because he wanted to do something in the useful arts. He was made fun of and this discouraged him. He had his mother and father and was an only child. He is known for making the best version of the steamboat. Thank you for listening to my presentation and have a good night.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Jankowski, and I will be telling about the history of the balloon. What is the history of the balloon? It dates back as far as the Aztecs, from the 1300s to 1521. They used cat intestines to create balloon sculptures that they sacrificed to their gods. From 1564 to 1642, Galileo attempted to measure the weight of air with a pig's bladder. The common rubber balloon was invented in 1824 by Professor Michael Faraday. He made them by cutting 2 sheets of tacky rubber and pressing the edges together to seal them. Inside the balloon there was flour to make the sheets not stick together. The first rubber balloons were more of a science experiment than a toy. Some of the challenges Faraday faced was that he was wasting a lot of rubber. The balloon making progress is difficult and dangerous due to his using liquid rubber cement. Still to this day, balloons are a staple to special occasions such as birthdays or holidays and are often used as party decorations. They are extremely popular and easy to entertain kids with. From cats intestines to party decorations, the history of balloon has brought a broad view. variety of uses, both weird and wonderful. Who knows where they will take us next? Thank you and have a good night.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Conway. I'm in 5th grade, and today I want to talk about Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was born on July 10th, 1856. The nurse called him a child of storm, so he was born during a storm. His mother said he was a child of light because he brought light to the world. When Nikola Tesla was 6, he designed a metal hook for catching frogs. And when Nikola Tesla was 8, he fell in love with books and even remembered everything he read. Hundreds of years later, the company Zenith designed a remote control for TV. Nikola Tesla made the world's first wireless remote control. Nikola Tesla called his remote control the wireless, his leading system. When Nikola Tesla arrived in New York in 1884, he was hired as an engineer at Thomas Edison's Manhattan headquarters. Nikola Tesla did not have a wife, but he admitted to fall in love with a bird, a very special white bird that visited him regularly. The reason why he fell in love with the pigeon was because of his brother that died, and it caused Nikola Tesla to see visions. Sadly, Nikola Tesla died on January 1943 in his room at New York Hotel in New York City at the age of 86. His last words were, "All these years I spent in the service of mankind brought me nothing but insults and humiliation." That's in my speech. Thank you. May God bless you.
Hello, my name is Tavia Wales and I'm in 5th grade. Tonight I will be telling you about the light bulb and its inventor, Thomas Edison. There are many great inventions, but the brightest one of them all is the light bulb, which helped light up the world. Edison tried many things for the light bulb's filament. Those things included fishing line, wire, wood shavings, grass, and even some small pieces of coconut shell. None of these things worked. Edison tried using a piece of thread after being baked in an oven. It worked. Edison's new bulb glowed for 13 more hours. The reason it worked was because the heat changed the cotton into carbon. After Edison worked on it the whole summer, it had its success on October 18, 1897. Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847 in Monmouth, Ohio. He died at West Orange, New Jersey on October 18, 1931. He lived to be 84 years old. Edison had worked on the incandescent bulb already, and quite a few years later, there was another type of bulb called a fluorescent bulb. Fluorescent bulbs do not have any filaments inside of them. They are thin, long bulbs, unlike many other bulbs. They are glass tubes coated with chemicals and are filled with many gases. This makes it so the chemicals give off light. Edison failed 2,774 times before his success on the light bulb. The answer is not 1,000 or 10,000 times like many people may say. He tried many times, never gave up, and ended up with something amazing. This is where he worked on the light bulb. Edison held 1,093 patents. That includes the light bulb, of course, which he had improved. Some other inventors did not have anything close to that many patents. 7.5 billion light bulbs are sold each year in the United States. That works out to about 100 bulbs per household, or 23 bulbs for every man, woman, or child. That's a lot of light bulbs. Out of all inventions, one lights up the world the most, which is Thomas Edison's light bulb. Thank you and have a good night.
Good evening. My name is David Renee, and I'm in 5th grade. Tonight I'm going to be telling you about Alfred Nobel and the invention of dynamite. Alfred Nobel was born in Stockholm, Sweden on October 21st, 1833. As a boy, he was interested in explosives and learned the fundamentals of engineering from his father. His parents were Emanuel and Caroline Nobel. He had 7 siblings, but only 3 of his brothers survived to adulthood. Alfred Nobel invented dynamite in 1867 while looking for ways to make nitroglycerin safer. He eventually made a relatively safe blasting gel as an alternative to plain nitroglycerin, made up of nitroglycerin and kieselguhr, a powder made of grounded aquatic shells and plants, put in many rolls of brown paper, and coated in paraffin to keep out moisture. Dynamite is used by lighting a fuse, which leads to a small area in the dynamite filled with gunpowder. This causes the mixture of nitroglycerin and kieselguhr to explode with great force. Although safer than lots of other explosives, dynamite is equally, if not more powerful than others. He received the patent for dynamite in 1867. Dynamite's relative safety caused mining companies and militaries to order large quantities. In 1868, he received a reward from the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences for his invention. Alfred Nobel used most of the profits from dynamite to start the Nobel Peace Prize organization, which is a prize given to people who do useful things for mankind. Alfred Nobel died of hemorrhages in his brain in 1895. Although the composition of the dynamite has changed over the years, Alfred Nobel still made an amazing invention and helped millions of people. Thank you and have a good night.
Oh, let's just get blinded.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Riley Ullman. I'm in 6th grade, and tonight I'm going to tell you about flushing toilets. So have you ever thought about how cool toilets are? Like seriously, back in the day before Sir John Carrington came along with his super smart invention in 1596, people had to do their business in some pretty gross ways. Can you imagine just digging a hole in the ground or jumping your waist in the street? Or even sticking your butt over the deck of a boat when traveling? Or letting your waist roll down inside your castle to your yard? In medieval times, wealthy people had guard rooms built on the side of their castle where they would sit over a hole and do their business and let their waste fall to the ground or into rivers, just outside the walls. Yuck. But thanks to Harrington, we got flushing toilets. His toilet had a flush valve that would release water from a tank that would go down a small pipe to flush the waste into a vault that had to be emptied regularly. He presented his invention to his godmother, Queen Elizabeth I, but she wasn't a fan because it was noisy and she didn't want anyone in the castle to know when she had to go. But still, it was a game changer. Harrington's toilet didn't catch on because people still preferred to use chamber pots and toss their waste out the window into the street. Even when flushing toilets were used, the smell was awful. However, in 1775, a Scottish inventor named Alexander Cummings fixed that with a thing called the Espen toilet. It helps keep those sticky smells away, which is awesome. Oh, and let's not forget about Thomas Twyford, who made porcelain toilets in 1880. Those are like the fancy toilets we use today, and we still use Alexander Cummings Espen in our modern toilets. Anyway, toilets are a big deal. Like, did you know the average person spends 3 whole years of their life on the toilet? Crazy, right? But hey, it's important for keeping us healthy. Modern toilets and sewer systems move waste away from people, food, and water sources so we don't get sick from bacteria and viruses our poop and pee carries. So next time you're sitting on the throne, just remember to thank Sir John Harrington for making it all possible, because without him, who knows the gross stuff we'd be dealing with today.
Hello, my name is Remy Vanderveer, and I'm going to be talking about the gasoline-powered automobile and Carl Benz. The gas-empowered automobile is probably the best way to get around and maybe even the best invention ever. You can do a lot with the car. You can even live in it. You can all thank Carl Benz for this revolutionary invention called the Benz Patent Motor Wagon in 1886. Carl Benz invented a lot of things while making his first cars, like the two-stroke engine and one of the first ignition systems. And his wife also invented the brake pads. Carl founded Mercedes-Benz with Gottlieb Daimler in 1926, and in 1929, Carl passed away at the age of 84. His invention influenced many other car companies to build from Carl's original invention, with many car engines being four-cylinder rather than one, and the design being bigger and different than Carl's first few cars. Now, when you leave to go home in your cars tonight, thank Carl. Thank you and have a great night.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie Snyder and I am in 6th grade, and today I will be talking to you about the atomic bomb. J. Robert Oppenheimer, one of the many inventors of the atomic bomb, was born in New York City on April 22, 1904. He went and studied at Ethical Culture Society School wanting to be a chemist but changed to physics. He also went to Cambridge University's Cavendish Laboratory and to the University of Göttingen. When World War II happened, Hitler conquered many countries, including Italy, from where two men named Albert Einstein and Enrico Fermi escaped. They told President Roosevelt that the Axis powers were trying to make an atomic bomb and suggested that the U.S. should make one. Roosevelt agreed and immediately ordered that the Army start to build an atomic bomb, which is when the Manhattan Project began. In June 1942, Oppenheimer was appointed as the scientific director of the Manhattan Project and helped to build Los Alamos. In 1945, Los Alamos made its first successful atomic bomb named Trinity, which was set off as a tester on the New Mexico desert. Now, because the U.S. had an atomic bomb, maybe they could win the war. When Germany found out that the U.S. had made a successful atomic bomb, they surrendered. The U.S. made more atomic bombs. They took 2 pieces of very pure uranium and loaded them into a specially made artillery gun. They shot one piece of uranium at the other piece of uranium. When they hit, they form a chain reaction in which uranium atoms hit neutrons and split, releasing energy and more neutrons. Even though Germany surrendered, Japan didn't. Roosevelt thought we should bomb Japan when we first invented the atomic bomb, but sadly, President Roosevelt died on April 6, 1946. On August 6, 1946. Sadly, the bomb killed thousands of people and many buildings were destroyed. Japan didn't relent. Truman decided to bomb Japan again, and this time bombed Nagasaki. The bombs that hit Hiroshima and Nagasaki were called the Little Boy and the Fat Man. Both of them were so strong that the prints on people's clothing were burned into their skin. Shadows of people were still on the walls. People were just gone, vanished, incinerated. Atomic bombs are huge and cause radiation. Many people died from radiation poisoning and not the bomb itself. Japan then surrendered after the second bomb was set off. While Oppenheimer regretted the bomb's use, he felt that the U.S. should reach that milestone so that no more Americans had to die from the war. We Americans and many other countries have made nuclear weapons not just larger and more powerful, we make them lighter and more compact. Atomic bombs are now used as the trigger for hydrogen and atomic bombs. In this world, there are many inventions, but it is safe to say that Oppenheimer and his atomic bomb made a big boom on our history and our modern world. Thank you and have a good night.
Hello, my name is Sarah Wales, and I'm in 7th grade. Tonight, I'll be presenting to you the invention of the Barbie doll. As an inspiration for little girls, Ruth and Elliot Handler had the brainchild of the Barbie doll to bring confidence to all daughters across the world. This famous doll took a long time to be approved by toy makers because of its adult-sized body. Ruth Moscow met Elliot Handler at East Denver High School. Elliot wanted to become an artist, and Ruth attended the University of Denver. After they graduated, Ruth and Elliot got married. Later, Ruth became a stenographer in Hollywood. With their business partner Harold Matson, the Handlers formed the company Mattel. The Mat was for Matson and the L for Elliot. The company originally made picture frames. These picture frames would pave the way for Mattel's greatest success, the Barbie doll. The Barbie doll was born when Ruth Handler observed her and Elliot's daughter Barbara playing with paper dolls. Ruth and Elliot worked tirelessly to present the first Barbie doll at the Toy Fair in New York in 1959. She was refused though. Even after being refused, the Handlers hired workers to make the dolls along with Barbie's iconic outfits. Barbie's popularity especially increased when Mattel introduced bendable legs in the 1960s. The Handlers enjoyed collecting their various dolls. In response to the Civil Rights Movement, they also released an African-American doll named Christy. The Barbie doll has had over 250 careers, such as Astronaut Barbie and even Barbie for President. Another big release from Mattel was Ken. He was Barbie's boyfriend, named after the Handler's son. In their later years, Mattel made dolls of diverse nationalities and body types, including dolls with prosthetics and wheelchairs. Ruth Handler said, "Barbara always played with her paper dolls, grown-up dolls with fashionable outfits. I thought we should make a doll like those paper dolls, but three-dimensional." The Barbie became so popular that Hasbro attempted to rival it with the G.I. Joe. With the invention of the Barbie dolls, the Handlers went on to receive numerous awards in selling and business. Barbie dolls were shipped 300,000 times in only the first year. Sadly, Ruth Handler died on April 27, 2002 at 86, and Elliot Handler died on July 21, 2011 at the age of 95. Together, the Handlers made the Barbie doll, an extremely successful toy that is still played with today. Thank you, and have a great night.
Hello, my name is Lily Nelson. I'm in 7th grade, and tonight I will be telling you about the piano and two of its inventors, Bartolomeo Cristofori and Sebastian Arard. Before the piano was invented, the harpsichord and clavichord were used. These instruments were difficult to play music on because the volume was either too loud or too soft. Unlike these predecessors, the piano is able to vary its volume depending on how hard its keys are pressed. Although the piano may look like a simple invention, it is really more complicated than one may think. Pianos can have over 12,000 individual parts spread out between the 7 major features, which are the keyboard, frame, case, action, strings, soundboard, and pedals. The visible parts of the piano are the keyboard, frame, case, and the pedals. The most recognizable part of the piano is probably the keyboard. The keyboard has 88 keys, and these keys are the main input for the piano's sound. Pushing on a piano key causes a wooden hammer to strike a string inside the body of the piano, creating sound. These strings are visible in the most famous type of piano, the grand piano, but not on other variations like the upright piano. Bartolomeo Cristofori, the inventor of the piano, was born on May 4th, 1655 in Padua, Italy. His job was an instrument maker and tuner in the prince's court. When Cristofori was 42 years old, he realized that instruments like the harpsichord and the clavichord didn't work in terms of showing expression, so he set to work constructing the first piano. He spent 3 years working on it before unveiling it in the year 1700. The first piano likely looked something like this, with only 54 keys. It was called the pianoforte, meaning soft and loud in Italian. Unfortunately, Cristofori didn't get to see his instrument rise to fame, as it didn't become very popular until after his death in 1732. Although Cristofori did much of the work of inventing the piano, some updates have been made to refine its technology by inventors like Sebastian Arard. Arard was born on this date, April 5th, 272 years ago, in the year 1752. His main interest was not upgrading the piano, but the harp. He has more than 10 patents for harp upgrades. Although he impacted the harp industry more than the piano industry, he still helped piano players around the world by inventing the double escapement mechanism for the piano. Invented in 1773, this mechanism allows notes to be played quickly and easily by holding the hammer closer to the strings, so it takes less time for the hammer to hit the string again. Sebastien Érard died on an unknown date in 1855 while in Paris, France. The piano is an amazing invention that changed the course of music, and it has impacted the lives of many people around the world, including some of us here. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.
Hi, my name is Bella Roach and I'm in 8th grade. One of my favorite things to do in my free time is to put together puzzles with my friends and family. Most recently, my family and I put together a puzzle of Minneapolis. For my student fair project, I will be telling you about the history of puzzles, including who invented them and the many benefits they have for all generations. John Spilsbury, a skilled mapmaker and engraver, crafted the first jigsaw puzzle to educate children about geography. Little did he know that his creation would spark a global phenomenon. Born in Worcestershire, London in 1739, John Spilsbury combined his talents of map-making and engraving to make the first puzzle. He cut maps into 14 pieces and made about 50 puzzles a month. Despite his death at the age of 30, Spilsbury's legacy lived through his family and admirers who continued to spread the joy of puzzles for years. This is a picture of the device Spilsbury used to make the first puzzle. Today, huge machines are needed to mass-produce puzzles. As the puzzle frenzy swept across the nations, even the British royal family joined in the fun, using puzzles for both entertainment and education. Over the years, puzzles have evolved, with new shapes and designs, challenging even the most experienced puzzlers. Today we use puzzles to exercise our brains, foster creativity, and promote mindfulness. Research even suggests that solving puzzles can help train our brain and improve cognitive skills like critical thinking, work ethic, logic and reasoning, and problem solving. Puzzles are being used to even help people with dementia, strengthening their short-term memory. When COVID hit in 2020, many people were looking for something to do during quarantine. Jigsaw puzzle sales increased by 40%, causing a shortage in puzzles. More people today are doing puzzles thanks to COVID. Next time you're at the store, pick up a puzzle for yourself to see the magic that John Spilsbury gave us through his invention of the jigsaw puzzle. Thank you and good night.
Hello, my name is Daniel Rooney, and I'm in 8th grade. Tonight I'm going to be telling you about the LED and a few of its inventors. The first practical light-emitting diode was invented by Nick Kolonyak in 1962. Nick Kolonyak was the son of two immigrants from the Carpathian Mountains region in Eastern Europe. He grew up in a small town in Illinois, where he learned to build and repair things at a young age. Although he liked to repair things, he never really thought of being a scientist or inventor as a real thing. It wasn't until he reached high school that he learned that it was a real thing and really started to consider doing it. After high school, he attended the University of Illinois, where he took courses in atomic physics and semiconductors under Professor John Bardeen, and highly enjoyed it. A semiconductor is a material with a conductivity somewhere between a conductor and an insulator. While at college, he worked in Bardeen's semiconductor laboratory, where he learned about semiconductors, as well as growing crystals and testing their conductivity. He had the added advantage of working at a lab commonly visited by world-renowned scientists. Eventually, he graduated college with a PhD in electrical engineering and a lifelong friendship with Professor Bardeen. After college, he left to work at Bell Labs, where advancements were being made in the use of silicon as a semiconductor. Years after Bell Labs, he joined the U.S. Signal Corps, where he worked on classified projects. 2 years later, he left and began work at the General Electronic Company's Electronic Devices Laboratory in New York. It is here that he created the first practical light-emitting diode, or LED. The LED creates light by the use of two lead wires, which lead into a diode. A diode is an electrical device which allows current to flow in one direction, but not the other. It does this by the use of two semiconductors. On one side is the N-type semiconductor, which is a semiconductor with an excess amount of electrons, causing it to be negative. On the other side is the P-type semiconductor, which lacks electrons and is therefore positive. These two sides are arranged in such a way that when an electric current is run through it in the right direction, excess electrons are able to jump from the N-type to the P-type and electricity is able to flow. When current is run in the opposite direction, the material acts as an insulator and the current does not flow. When electrons jump from the N-type to the P-type semiconductors, they pick up excess energy from the current, which they shed in the form of photons. All diodes produce light, but most produce infrared, which is not in the visible spectrum of colors. But by varying the semiconductor, the wavelengths can be changed and therefore the color. New types of semiconductors are constantly being developed, allowing for changes in efficiency and color. Jerry Woodall invented the semiconductor gallium aluminum arsenide, which is used in super bright, energy-efficient red LEDs, and dramatically improved the semiconductor used in high energy-efficient infrared LEDs. Shuji Nakamura, along with Isamu Akasaki and Hiroshi Amano, received the Nobel Peace Prize in Physics for the invention of the blue LED, which in turn allowed for the creation of a full spectrum of colors, including a white LED, which before then had not been feasible. The development of the white LED allowed LEDs to become a viable option for lighting. The LED is now used all around the world as a safe, energy-efficient light source. In 2016, the U.S. Department of Energy stated that 12.6% of lighting installations were LEDs and had already saved an estimated $4.7 billion in energy bills. Because of their energy efficiency, they can be used in remote places in Africa, powered using only solar power, and they are of course being used in billboards and other displays and can now be found in every corner of life. Although Nick Kalaniak passed away in 2022, both Jerry Woodall and Shuji Nakamura continue to improve the LED, with the help of many others, and LEDs continue to replace incandescence and fluorescence around the world. Thank you and have a good
Hello, my name is Reagan Oman. I am in 8th grade, and tonight I will be telling you about the fascinating creation of Kevlar and its amazing inventors. Kevlar is a material that Stephanie Kulak invented in 1965, and it's used for all sorts of things that keep us safe and make life more fun. Kevlar is a super strong plastic-like material that's even stronger than steel wire. It's made up of tiny repeating units that line up parallel to each other, cross-linked with hydrogen bonds, giving it strong tensile or tension strength. It's made through a process called melt spinning, where chemicals are heated until they evaporate and mix together to make a solution. The solution is drained into a spinning tower, where a fiber finish is applied, turning it into a rope-like material and is wrapped onto a spool for use. Stephanie Kulak and her team were actually trying to make a light but strong fiber for tires to save on fuel, but they ended up creating Kevlar instead. Since then, there have been different versions of Kevlar made for different purposes. Like there's K29 used in tires, cables, and brake lining, K119 with more flexibility, K129 for ballistics, and K100 for things like boats and airplanes. Stephanie Kulak was an amazing inventor. She loved science from a young age, and even though she faced challenges, she never gave up. She worked at DuPont for years, and her invention of Kevlar changed the world. And let's not forget about her partner, Paul Morgan, who laid the foundation of Kevlar with his research on polymers. Together they made something incredible that saved so many lives. Kevlar is also used in bulletproof vests. Thousands of soldiers, police officers, and police dogs have been saved because of it. A police officer that was saved by his Kevlar vest asked Stephanie to sign the vest that saved his life, and she did. But Kevlar isn't just for safety. It's used in tires, sports equipment, and even in space. NASA once used a 12-mile Kevlar cable, thinner than a pencil, to secure a 1,200-pound satellite during a space shuttle mission. Canoes are also made with Kevlar because of its strength and its light weight. Stephanie Kulak's life-changing work didn't go unnoticed. She received tons of awards and even got into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2003. Thanks to Stephanie Kulak and Paul Morgan, Kevlar has changed the world in so many ways, and it's still helping us out today. Thank you and have a great night.
Hello, my name is Cameron Nelson. I am in 8th grade, and tonight I will be telling you about the invention of the airplane and the controversy over its inventors. The airplane is a heavy, huge machine that allows air travel. In order to fly, there must be some sort of air movement. The wings of an airplane are slightly tilted to make more air move over the top of the wing. The moving air makes the pressure on top of the wing lower than on the bottom of the wing. The difference creates a force that lifts the wing and plane into the air. I know, nerdy, right? All airplanes come in different sizes, uses, and abilities. The largest cargo plane, the Antonov AN-225 Mariah, has a length of 275 feet and a wingspan of 290 feet. You may be thinking, that must use a lot of fuel, and you would be right. In 1 hour, the Antonov AN-225 Mariah uses about 20 tons of fuel. An average Boeing 747 doesn't use that much, but still uses 5 gallons per mile. The main inventors credited with inventing the airplane are the Wright brothers. Wilbur Wright was born on April 16, 1867, and was the older of the two brothers, and Orville Wright, who was born on August 19, 1871. The brothers opened a bicycle shop in 1892 and were able to build airplanes with the money they made. While the Wright brothers were experimenting at Kill Devil Hills in Kidiock, North Carolina, Orville Wright flew in their plane, the Flyer, for 12 seconds. They were the first to fly. Another pioneer in flying was Alberto Santos Dumont, who was born on July 20th, 1873 in Brazil. After making many unsuccessful plane designs, he made a successful plane that actually flew, the 14 Bis. Santos Dumont first flew on October 23rd, 1908. Some people say Alberto Santos Dumont was actually the first to fly because the Wright brothers glided and used a ramp in their first flight, but the world still accepts that the Wright brothers were the first to fly. While it is still disputed who flew first, both the Wright brothers and Alberto Santos Dumont were early pioneers in the flying world and made improvements to the machine that is now so common. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming to this year's student fair.
So I will also say thank you for listening tonight. Thanks for coming. One of the students reminded me today that last year we had a snowstorm. I forgot about that. Remember that?
Big one.
After leaving the fair? Yes. Big one. Yeah, I forgot about it. But they remembered. It snowed so much last year. So give us a few minutes and we'll have some snacks available or treats. Visit with the kids. Ask them some more questions. See if they know something they didn't. Thanks again for coming. Thank you.
Couldn't resist it, Good job.